maps now joining Donk and Shiro at the top of the tables.
It's been a masterclass, hasn't it, from Spirit? This is rapid. This is very, very quick quarterfinal. This isn't normally where Mouse gets slowed down, but this is a Mouse who continue to deteriorate. It's hard to watch, and I'm sure hard to play. We're 1 for 1 in pistols on map number 1. Let's see if we can do it again. Mouse, you need something.
It's going to be an early fight. Quick from Exertion, tested on the Rams side. Double kill from Exertion on the dual Berettas. Tanir losing his head. Roland finding Magic's jumping, mantling up through the connector as well. So you talked about the necessity for this pistol. It's come rather leisurely.
I just think the problem at the moment is it's same as map number 1. It feels like a matter of time.
Oh, that's a horrible headshot for Spinks. He can't get in cover in time. Zontic just chases him down.
That'll draw the rotation because that was the bomb. Something that they were struggling with in the first map, right? Out of sync, over-rotating. The team play wasn't there. I don't know how you can lose this 2v5.
I mean, the Shiro Exertion standoff, he's just been caught on the ladder though, gets the info.
And he doesn't know about Exertion. Exertion knows all about him.
Hang on, he gets that info safely, and Bronner's still choosing to take that fight. Fortunately, the nade combined with Exertion's headshot through the boards has made this a 1v4 for Zontix. Up close, finally finishes off Bronner, but at what cost?
You'd love to get the plant, but I don't think they'll allow that. They are giving you the cross to short, and Jimmy playing safe, so this is likely the next point of contact. Exertion playing safe sandwich, Torji in jungle. They're just going to let Zontix finish the round.
Yeah, Jimmy as well. 1 bullet, all he needs. Step 1, complete.
And this is it, right? You're likely to get an eco for Spirit in this situation. They bring the rifles out into the next, so you should get this one for free to make it a 9-5 score line. The same discussion we were having on Dust 2. It's all about stringing these consecutive rounds and rifle rounds, something that Mouse have really struggled with. Zontix has invested in Deagle and he's got a friend. I wonder why. Donk coming around to see if he gets to recycle that from...
But he did just reload after 1 bullet as well, so...
he doesn't want Donk to have the chance, I see. All right. On staunch defense right now, there's full mid control. They're not afraid. Knowing that bomb didn't go down, so the likelihood of the force not on the cards right now.
This Donk decoy. Be one hell of a decoy. The Exertion would be nice to be able to pad the stats if they do come flooding out of middle. It's just Tanir and Magic's. Say that, Zontix is bringing his Deagle over there too. Torji, Spinks, all finding it. There's the Zontix headshot. That's what he's been waiting for. A singer of a second. And there's Donk's turn. See if he can match the output.
Already decent damage. He gets 1 more.
Yeah,
great eco.
Seriously. For the amount spent. Oh, and he's gone and done it.
Okay, why not?
Takes off of Spinks' head.
Why not?
Because they have guns, Kevlar, and Ron the pistol. That's why not, but they have to pay a very heavy price.
Yeah, that's a lot of casualties to stomach there against what was essentially just a $700 investment.
And that decoy.
I can't forget about that.
Never forget. Spinks a bit of an unnecessary extension from him, gets immediately punished.
So they're teetering already. It's going to be worse this time than Dust 2.
Missing nades.
At least Dust 2, you got 2 rounds in a row where you had the guns. This time, you're only going to get the 1, and then it'll be the 4. So straight into what is likely an A execute here. Standard mid openers, Exertion, Torji, Spinks, all kept busy by that, trying to identify, is it middle? Are they parting behind that island box? And in the interim, the setup. Now, Spirit execute.
Roland is trying to block this jungle smoke, trying to disrupt. Donk will go down to the spray. Tanir caught flag 2. Palace exposed. Actually, Zontix the one that profits from the smoke break. Mouse lose out Xertion.
Shiro's taking space. He dropped the bomb. He wants to keep moving.
They've thrown a deep CT smoke. Jimmy's going to try and play ahead of that. And Shiro, he's there, perfectly poised to collect. Brought on from the staircase. Torji lingers, looking to catch a timing on the smoke push. Spinks flanking. Lovely forward maneuver, forward momentum. Spinks feasts on the double kill.
Default plant. Tanir can't win this.
He'll give it his best shot. Finds the head onto one. And a double swing. Brolin ensures the round. That was a test on his sight, and he's passed it. 5 kills between Spinks and Brolin. Smiles starting to creep onto their faces.
Zontix must have been in the lab. I feel we're seeing more headshots out of this guy than normal, aren't we? Here he comes through the smoke.
Bang, while flashed in a smoke. Admirable. Spinks' forward push there. This was like incredibly quick.
Yeah, very well played from Spinks, understanding that he has an opportunity there. Underguarded, not expected. And now just a 3-round gap. Cyclone happy with that. Starting to see more of what he expects from the boys as the mid-smoke's lobbed out. Partial buy. Bomb plant helping them equip a little bit more. Another round where you want to make sure if you're Spirit, you're getting a couple of kills. Continue to apply the pressure for Mouse. It's the opposite. How many can we keep alive? Can we start to make this look clean? Can we make it look competitive? But we're here to play today. Magic selling this over towards mid, but Zontix has already gone down towards A.
Yeah, that stopped donk from following through. Magic's confirmed Spinks in ladder. Shiro is out and about, but was counting on Brolin going down to the donk dig. Now spotted on the jump peak. Still something from Tanir. More than something. Could be everything. He pulled them back into a 3-on-2, not a 5v3 fumble against a Tech 9.
The defensive smoke lets Shiro plant. He might get towards Con and be able to pick up one of these guns.
God, it's fallen into a post plant. This could go horribly wrong for Mouse. They know Spinks was ladder. And that's what Tanir's playing for. Cashing in, crouching, can't hit the shot. Was aiming for that head, and then look at the wrong way is Shiro. So many ways that could have got a whole lot worse, but still, you get the bomb plant to get a couple of kills. To Tanir.
And you turn it into a 2-round game. So this is Mouse finally finding some form. We were expecting a better showing on Mirage. Dust 2, as mentioned, this year so far, they played it 15 times, well, 16 now. They're 5-11. It's not their forte. Mirage, a little bit more their bread and butter. It's their map pick. You can understand so. It's either going to be this or overpass, but just the idea of starting T-side overpass against Spirit, no thank you. Okay, second gun round, second half. Can they really make a map of this? It's starting to feel that way now.
Going straight up mid. Donk and Shiro waiting for him. Flash connects onto both of them. Important trade. Shiro gets vision just in time to ensure it stays level. The opening stages of round 17.
And not letting Donk be comfortable in all of these moments. It's not that he's a non-issue, but they are getting a couple of openings against him. Magic's had a chance on Brolin.
Whistles one past Brolin's ear.
Now man advantage, and maybe a little bit disconnected in some of these plays of Spirit. Trade potential not there.
Exertion tucks on window. Forgy going to be trying to lend a hand. And Tanir, what? Gets 2 in quick succession on the spray.
They lined up.
That's the A defense. They were just in a massive line. Still Exertion pulls the trigger while in the smoke grenade to ensure it's a 1 versus 2 advantage. Shiro gets across, but they're quick on this. Jimmy and Exertion could just walk on that plant sound, partner up and ensure the trade. Shiro, oh, they nearly lined up again. It was nearly the wombo combo.
Okay, another tense moment there. These rounds for Mouse, yeah, you're adding them to the tally. You're starting to brew a bit of confidence. Feels like they're even having fun in some of these moments. This is the double from Tanir, the flash, right? You saw Torji lob that over, and then they're peeking in mid to combine. But Tanir, the output we're getting from him today, I don't know how many times we've seen it in the Spirit jersey. Another clutch attempt for Shiro, another difficult one short. 9-8. Sodfik, academy coach, standing in for Halley throughout his absence. Finally has some work ahead of him. No rounds posted so far in the first 5. The second half here of Mirage, but they're close. The bomb's going down. It's tough situations regardless of investment. That does mean that the money isn't comfortable for Mouse. They have a little bit of extra on 3 out of the 5. Does mean this house of cards can get blown over damn quick. So is the big bad dragon ready to blow it all over. Well, Mouse about to tie things up. They want to establish this mid control and potentially turn it into a B split. The bomb over towards the B apartments. Spinks spamming, Jimmy playing forward. And the bomb not dropping back. If anything, it's picked up now. So this, in different stages, likely to turn into a whole bunch of different moves to get short control. CT's with a defensive con smoke. Jimmy forward should be such a strong position that even if he gets one, the early info also will bottleneck them and allow Spinks here to also contribute. The jump spot bait feels like it's setting up for success.
Right, Spinks is acting like Jimmy. Hoping they start running him down after he's spotted.
Then Molly, this will help Magics now with the short control.
Try and pincer in. Spinks' attention drawn, so no longer baiting. Jimmy, however, hiding out on his position. They'll clear him. Donk. Oh, a lazy clear from Donk. Jimmy's alive, though. Spinks tucks in. Exertion's already arrived on the site, so things shaping up. Still caught on the smoke spam. Oh, he's gotten away for a moment.
There's two there. They can pivot. They can pivot.
Two. Exertion and Spinks both on that kill.
The bomb's still B up, so they're trying to sell A. They're trying to force a rotation. They still want to finish over towards B. There's only 20 seconds. They have to finish B with the bomb.
Ambitious. They're hoping Tanir and Shiro can sell the A finish.
They're both still B. There's 14 seconds. How's Zontic's meant to get this done?
Oh, and that's the kill. Zontic's kills Spinks. It's just Exertion here, but they have to plant. 8 seconds. Zontic's just has to get that bomb in, or they'll go for the kill. Chaos for Spirit's first T-side round here on Mirage.
You think, okay, just pull the plug, we have the info, but they're thinking a layer ahead. If the rotation comes in from short, how are we meant to get up con? That's not an easy fight for us. But then it's still tense. It's a tough choice either way. The fact that that's a buzzer beater right there, how close these rounds have been. Spirit, they pull one off. They finally get on the board on this T side. They get to double digits first. And remember, Mounds have been walking funny. These rounds, they haven't been easy to get by. You can see on your screen right now, there's an ult for Torji Shaw. A couple of M4s in the mix. It's Brolin gonna have to defend A with an MP9. And Jimmy just down to a 5-7. Util's lacking. There's no defuse kit. And 5 seconds, the final frag comes in. Tanir.
Such impact.
Everywhere in that round. Another showstopper from him. 18 and 12. Donk's been hemorrhaging opening kills in this second half. This one's worth 2 for Spirit. And those 2 could be all they need. It's one of those situations for Mouse. You lose this, you're either forced by out the game or you're taking eco.
Zontic, he's just got to try and find one here. They're pushing for him in his blind spot. MP9 at range combines with the M4 of Exertion. Warren will find himself an upgrade and the opening kill for Mouse.
You want to sweep back through if you're Spirit. They're quick to this and they're bringing an awful lot of bodies. Jimmy's going to stay pretty passive over towards B because of the aggressive play on the other side of the map. Spinks' Exertion rotating over. Spirit essentially calling their bluff in this. You were forward, we think you're going to rejig, and Shiro clears out Brolin. That's one big threat removed.
Nice damage from Brolin, has the advantage on the angle. Torchy's up close on the default box. He's been spotted though. It's not comfortable now. Brolin's gone down as well. Yeah, overwhelmed. Tanir up and over from the Tetris side. A site lost. Jimmy closest on jungle. Exertion advancing behind that smoke wall. But they have got control of CT, and it's a default plant from Magics.
But no kit. Not possible to invest right now.
Doesn't feel good for Mouse whatsoever, does it? They're hoping for an overplay here. Jimmy tucked into the corner. He's actually been cleared. Again, the awareness from Tanir finds his 20th contribution here.
It's your favorite 4-letter word, Alex. They're saving. They know the options ahead of them. Mouse with 1900 going into the next, the late stages, and they are just going to have to retain these M4s, or they have next to nothing to defend their honor, to defend against 12. Spirit, they call the bluff on the Palace push. Shiro deals with Brolin. They erupt onto A, and they make this one look simple. Only a handful of rounds away now from making it 6 consecutive series. Spirit have a Mouse's number. Another one of these head-to-heads that's no longer a rivalry, it's domination on display.
This is that 1v1 we saw off screen. Shiro did manage to best Brolin despite that damage equalizer.
Again, Tanir's in the flow state. Every choice he's making is the right decision. And he's considering everything right now.
Every corner he clears.
They're not forcing behind the M4s, so it's not an eco, but it's, well, it is an eco. but it's not a full one due to the saves. They hedge their bets, they gamble B. Your Spirit, you know, weapons were carried through, so you're going to take your time with this. You want to make sure you don't die to any early aggressive moves, whether that's Palace, a ramp push, up the guts of middle, jumping out the window, underpass, harassing your B defaulter. All of those considerations. You put out a wide net. You play slow. And then once you're sure there hasn't been that aggressive move, you start to piece this together. And again, they appear to be picking perfectly. Take a look at the radar. There is absolutely nobody at home. The B stack from Mouse starts to play forward for some info, but it feels like it's going to be way too little, way too late. 12 looks like a certainty.
Just listen to that barrage of utility thrown out, the diligence.
Spinks and Exertion can play back, try and chip away, see if they can get rifles to Torji, Brolin, and Jimmy. It's not even damage being the name of the game now. It's too late.
Zontix is so aware of the potential Palace aggress as well. Even confirms now presence. Jimmy fires off a bullet of his USP, trying to make space for the M4, and now that's audible. So you'll get one, Spinks another. Opportunity for Spinks to go swinging in. Donk having absolutely none of that, and Donk goes down to Torji. The distraction from the Palace position enables the USP to find that frag. So they came into this round with 2 M4s, and they'll leave with 1. 12 already, okay. It really did look like Mouse had managed to put up the wall.
Yeah, I just think with those 5, a handful of them were ropey.
Yeah.
Take 9 rounds with sneak and doubles, they're lining up. It's one of those days, everything feels like it's going wrong if you're Mouse, and for Spirit it's oh so right. This is the form of a team you'd expect that has Donk as the crown jewel. And Tanier was brought in to bring this level of firepower, so it's great to see him delivering today.
I mean, the scoreboard reads fantastically for Team Spirit.
Oh, is this it?
This is on par with Donk as well. Everyone's hitting their shots.
They're executing A again, Alex. They are bludgeoning this side. It's Brolin who's about to get a complete onslaught. They've gambled B. They're playing it for info, sure, but when's the go on the execute? The rotation, I don't know if it'll be there in time. Jimmy's...
Oh, Brolin. He's going to have his work cut out for him, trying to find a safe haven on site.
Here they come.
Anti-flash. Oh, still blind screen. Buys time for Donk to close the gap, and down goes Brolin! He gets another one. Stop! The bulldozer flattens Mouse and sends them packing out of Rio.
Yeah, pack their bags. Send them to the lobby. This one's done. Mouse, you punch your ticket by taking down Legacy and Aurora. You couldn't deal with Furia and Spirit are too much to ask for. That lower bracket gauntlet, no problem. 13-day. A casual day at the office for Spirit. 8 months since their last final. 8 months since their last trophy lift. Only 3 days since their last head-to-head versus the Falcons. And that's what comes next. Blown out in the group stage. Donk's worst career performance. A chance for revenge on the stage.
Didn't see that form, though. The individuals that played today, I think they can hang with the Falcons. Could be a very entertaining semi-final. But for the other side, I mean, for Mouse, yeah, you said it, that is no longer a rivalry, it's domination.
Yeah, 6 straight now for Spirit. This is one that they've got in their pocket. They take to the stage, get the handshakes in. A good game for some. But Mouse, the questions continue to be asked. They continue to put up the front.
It's the opposite of the form you want to have ahead of the major.
Yeah, well, they're saying, look, this one might not be the priority, but they are looking to find that form. They've got a couple more months to find themselves. Bit of soul searching required because the Mouse that was the second most consistent team of 2025 look like they are eons away from that, but we're heading down to the stage.
First of all, congratulations. What a consistent victory. I know you were not feeling well over the past few days and you are playing without your coach, but even so, you're performing incredibly well. For you, how's the tournament going so far?
It's fine, you know, I was sick sometimes and like I was feeling like I'm dying inside the game, so it's sad, but right now I'm feeling myself like good and everything is fine.
But now you're on Prime, right? You're Prime.
No.
No, it's not. You want more?
Yes.
Well, you have chance because tomorrow you're gonna face Falcons. How are you gonna prepare for that?
As always, I think we will try a little bit better than in group stage, but I think we will do better.
Amazing. Have the best of luck. Thank you. Congratulations. Obrigada, galera. Ó, recadinho importante para vocês. Um pouco antes da nossa segunda quarta de final do dia, a gente vai ter um anúncio muito importante aqui nesse palco. Então, voltem aqui pelo menos uns 15 minutinhos antes de começar, tá? Não saiam daí que daqui a pouquinho a gente volta. Vocês não vão se arrepender de estar por aqui. Muito obrigada.
Right now I'm feeling myself like
absolute
good
domination, and I do not mean by Mouse. I'm talking about the spirit that came through here and reminded Mouse that this is the way to the airport, fellas, so go ahead and get at it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we need to just... Depends on in which... through which lens do you look at Mouse, right? If you see this result, but you think Mouse is still supposed to be a contender team, then you'll be gravely disappointed and, you know, you will be shocked by the result. But I don't think that's who Mouse is at the moment. But if you look at Mouse as a team who, you know, will be the teams below them, but is no longer a top 5, a contender team, then this loss is way less painful. And I think moving forward, going into the major, in their camp, I feel like they need to change their approach and how they play the game, right? Like, well, I don't think they should try to play default Counter-Strike, you know, try to play by the book at all times. I think they should maybe up the pace, be more aggressive, figure out the way to change your style so you can get something more out of these players, because it feels like everyone is done with the roster, like everyone knows that the changes are coming, their heart isn't in it anymore, and when you try to play that way, it's not going to go well for you.
Yeah, I very much agree. You know, it is a better result for Mouse, I guess, compared to the last tournament they played where they finished dead last, and they did have a couple of good showings here as well. The game against Aurora was one that gave themselves and I guess us a little bit of hope that maybe they're finding out and maybe they're figuring out a way to play slightly better, but it's the fashion they lose into Spirit here as well. It's not a competitive game. It's not a close game of Counter-Strike. It's not a game where you at any point are like, ooh, maybe they're coming back now, maybe we're heading to a third, maybe they can kickstart themselves. It's the fashion they currently play Counter-Strike in that makes me agree very much with what you're saying. You know, at this point it does feel like there's nothing to lose if you're Mouse. Sure, heading to the Cologne Major, if you're sticking with the same lineup and you're not making a roster change heading into Cologne, then just free it up, you know, play a little bit more loose, and as Janko is saying, trying to see if you can get more out of the individuals instead of trying more of the same and the same and the same. So at the end of the day, the way I want to summarize this game for me is that I didn't learn anything new about Mouse, and that's a great disappointment because I've been asking for that for a long time to see signs of life, but as we would say, Trace, the lights are on, there's nobody home in the camp of Mouse right now.
Yeah, and I do hate that he's right, but he's right.
Cannot always be the day, right?
Yeah, can't always be the day. Sometimes you got to be ready for the night.
I did like, though, from Spirit, you know, some of the stuff on their T side. I mean, it did get to 9-8 in this map, right? And Spirit had to win 4 rounds in a row, or didn't have to, but they won 4 rounds in a row to close out the game, and had some cool rounds on T side again, right? That had some tactical depth. We saw it on Dust 2, we saw it on Mirage, right? And that's a good sign with all the question marks around Magix and his leadership, right? Tanir having a good series is also a great sign for Team Spirit. Hopefully gives them some added confidence going into the Falcons game tomorrow.
It was beautiful to watch Tanir play Counter-Strike today. He did a great job on Dust 2, as we highlighted, with a couple of rounds on Mirage as well. When it was looking the worst, I guess, for Team Spirit, he was the one player trying to drag them back into rounds up until they got the engine running on the T side, and that's kind of what we wanted from Tanir. Again, on a map like Mirage T side, he was involved in a lot of stuff in the mid portion of the map, center of the universe, instead of being out on a flank, not really involved. So I want more of that Tanir, you know, in your face Tanir, the one that takes duel against arguably, you know, great players which he can win. So it's a good sign for him, a good sign for Team Spirit, and a game where you win without breaking a sweat. You know, if that doesn't give you a bit of confidence heading into the semifinal, nothing will.
Well, you said it. I mean, if you want more Tanir, this is how you do it. It's our DHL MVP vote.
Who will be the DHL MVP? You decide. You can participate in the DHL MVP vote as it happens. Make sure to be tuned into the Twitch stream and be ready to have your say.
Yes, it is time for that DHL MVP vote. That way that we can likely catch up with them at the conclusion of the grand finals. But of course, you wanted more Tanir, so we delivered just for you, Jacob. An awesome series, really cool stuff. He showed rather there on Dust 2, and really put his prowess all over Mouse.
It's great to see. You know, he's reminding us what capabilities he has as an individual player. He's struggling with consistency, so has Team Spirit, but 2 good maps in a row, and hopefully something he can build on towards heading into the semifinal.
Naturally, the next one in terms of candidates, nominees, you should say, Donk. Surprise, surprise.
Crazy he wasn't the first name on the list, right? That also happens sometimes, sort of working his way up in this tournament. Heard plenty of time about his condition. So I think he'll be in good shape going into tomorrow. And yeah, his team is going to absolutely need him. Last time he had his worst map in Team Spirit against Falcons on that Mirage.
Oh man, what a sweet, juicy game it's going to be. Also, Shiro. Where's he at? Where's he in the server?
I think he's quietly doing a really good job, you know. Again, Shiro sure has games and moments where he's popping up even more, but I think he's been somewhat consistent in a period where Team Spirit haven't functioned too well. This game, let alone, again, getting the job done, I think he's a player that makes very few mistakes as well, if you want to get technical about it. A player that you could rely on, and a player that the teammates can always rely on as well. So good to see him play well, and also much, much needed in a semifinal.
He's not flashy, he's a safe pair of hands, and, you know, the only time you'll see highlights from him most likely is clutches. That's where he's incredibly strong and does his best work.
Yeah, so again, that's the DHL MVP. Go ahead and get your vote in. It should be up there on the top of the screen somewhere. We just showed you how to do it, so it shouldn't be super complex, super complicated.
Talking to Twitch chat, by the way, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, okay, fair. That's right. Yeah. Anything you want to tell them, Jacob?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. All right. Well, for us at least, like, yeah, putting a ribbon and bow on Mouse, it's almost as if we're ready to put them in the box and wrap it with a present and put it out for Christmas.
I think
that type of box.
Yeah, and that's a tough one. I think the one interesting, you know, angle you can look at Mouse is that change going to happen now, or is it going to happen after Cologne? Because I think we're at a point now where you kind of described it as well. There's almost nothing to lose in the Mouse camp. So if you're planning to change after the Cologne major, why not pull it off now?
I would have made it last off-season, right? So I would do it as soon as possible. I think they would be far better off with it, because this roster isn't going to achieve anything in the next 2 months. So if you have the opportunity, just pull the trigger on it already, right? Give yourself, and you cannot underestimate honeymoon periods, right? The extra motivation from a new start, a new beginning. So we'll see what they have in store for us.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, are there any names that kind of come to your guys at the top of your head? Like, who would be a good fit? Who would slot into this Mouse lineup that could make it make sense?
I think the question for them, and the question I'm still left with, is it just going to be one roster change? Because if it's just a 1-for-1, let's say that they want to try something new instead of Roland, then I say do it right now. You know, you're looking at a guy like Magic's being rumored to the lineup. You're looking at Kixen maybe, potentially free in the market, even though he's probably going to cost a bit of money. Do you want to re-rent the lineup and maybe remove more than one player? Then I think it gets a bit more complicated. So I think that's one of the only reasons I can come up with as to why they would wait until after Cologne to make sure that they get the 2 players they actually want. But for now, I think Kixen would be fun to see in Mouse. I think Magic's is a bit more of a wild card. I'm not sure if he's cut for you.
Yeah, I think they need someone who's a bit of a fiery personality, who's not just an IGL, but even more so a leader of men, right? I think that's what they have missing someone. Exactly, right. And I'm not even sure I necessarily put Kixen into that particular category. Maybe Magisk a bit more so, because he's a proven champion and a veteran presence. But yeah, it's not easy, right? As you said, those guys are, for a reason, they're few and far between.
And he's Danish, Jacob.
Well, another great reason not to sign him.
I wonder why Zipix extended his contract. Like, I wonder why he's still satisfied being an assistant coach.
I think he thrives in that environment. I think he thrives not having...
Like Matt on Vitality?
Well, in a sense, but also not having the full responsibility on him, because we often, talk about coaches not doing the job well enough when the teams is not doing well enough. And I think he's had a long time in Astralis where he was being singled out as being the issue. And I think that's a different kind of pressure to work on. I've also spoken to him a bit about, making the transition into becoming head coach. And I think he wants to do that at some point. But for now, he thrives well, working in the background, not having to put his name to things, but still having an influence within the lineup.
But at a certain point, Mouse have to show something, right? Like, at a certain point, the Mouse camp has to show
I mean,
that.
they re-signed both Cyclone and Sipnix, and as much as it may sound fun to say, I think that was a great thing to do. I think they could be the cornerstone of rebuilding the project. I think they've done a great enough job, you know, previously as a duo in order to make sure the Mouse got to a point where we labeled them as the second best team in the world and one of the most consistent teams in the world. Question is if they're